All right, guys, we made it through the week. Another day, another video. Daily uploads. I'm fired up. Hope you guys are fired up. We're here in the engine room. Before we get started, we got to let you guys know today's video is brought to you by WP Developments out of Indiana. Yeah, they might have inbreds in Indiana. Wow. But they also make some badass transmissions. Go check them out. Whether you need something for your diesel truck, need something for your 5.0 F-150, whether you need something for your Mustang, they got it all. WP Developments, your leader in performance transmissions. All right, so we're here in the engine assembly room, and this is something that I'm very excited about. This is something that we have never done before. This is a naturally aspirated build. And the crowd goes mild. Woo! Because...
Scott, why are you standing out there? You're the engine builder. The engine builder is going to stand outside while we talk about it.
I don't know.
Crazy work.
I don't know what I'm talking about. That's why we got Scott here. And Scott did not... This is not Scott's brainchild. Unfortunately, this is my brainchild. So will it work? I don't know. This is typical John stuff. Buy something really with no thought in mind. And then being like, yeah, let's do this. I hope it works. And we end up here. So what we have is... this is what, an old like ARCA series block?
Yeah, the Craftsman Truck series blocks.
This is... CGI, so it's not an iron block, it's
compacted graphite.
So it's heavier, but that means it's also stronger. We're not really worried about weight because it's going in a street car, but you can get these blocks really cheap because they're just hogged out. They run a really large bore, and then when they cycle these out, they need to be honed, so then the bore gets even larger. So we're at like max bore, but we're never gonna have to rebore this thing because it's a street car, and we're not gonna run 3,000 horsepower through it.
That means, long story short, if you tear it up, you throw the block away and you build a new one.
Yes.
One of the biggest problems right here, like if you were going to boost this thing, there's no head gasket here, right? You can't get anything in there. For NA, this thing will be great. It'll be fine right there.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Naturally aspirated. So, being that it's got a large bore, it's going to be a big cubic inch motor. And what's going to make it even bigger cubic inch motor is our crankshaft with a nice long arm on it. So normally, you guys will hear us talking about our 427s or our 408s. Those are pretty much, I'd say, the bread and butter that have got me through all the LS stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a great motor combination.
The 408 is like if you take a 6-liter iron block, bore it 30 over, and put a 4-inch stroke crank in it. The 427 is kind of based off of the LS7, where you have a 4125 bore with a 4-inch stroke crank. So the 4-inch stroke crank, you can't really go wrong with. It gives you some cubic inch, gives you a little bit longer throw, but it's not too big. This thing right here with the big bore and the 4-inch stroke, 4125 stroke, because when in Rome, right? This will get us up to 460 cubic inch. And cubic inch is important because we don't have any power adders. We might spray a little nitrous.
I was going to say, we're going to gap rings for a little NOx.
Might spray a little bit of nitrous. But I'm really excited about this. And this is an NA build, really is like the showcase of the engine build itself, where a boosted application is like just cram that shit together, and the engine just has to survive whatever the power adder will make. So if you have a 3,000 horsepower turbo, you better build your motor to handle 3,000 horsepower. If you have a 1,000 horsepower turbo, at least build the motor to handle 1,000. Where this is, it's all nuts. You got to build this thing right, because whatever you do building this is going to make your horsepower. So, it's a pretty basic dealio. Come on over here, Mason. We got everything kind of laid out. The cylinder head's really going to play a large factor. We got some nice Wiseco pistons, not fully skirted because this is a street application. Unfortunately for Scott, we don't have buttons. We have
we get to put snap rings in. Oh boy.
The dreaded spiral lock.
Scott loves those.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be sick that day, or today, or in just a little bit.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Scott just doesn't like them because he's old and his fingers prick easy.
That stuff hurts.
Pretty simple. Again, not going to go out there and make 3,000 horsepower. We got a Cali's Comstar rod. This rod's rated for like 800 horsepower. I've made 1,200 wheel with them before, just saying. So do what you like with these. Cheap rod. And when I say cheap rod, I mean, we're talking about $800-900 rod. It's got ARP rod bolts in there, which to some might say, oh, that's expensive because my Gen 3 rods or Gen 4 rods or whatever rods are good. This is worth the money, I think, for what you can do. Like any like basic like streetcar motor, Hank has a set of these in there, and they work really good. We've made 1600 on Hank, so Hank might have a little bit better rod than this.
Hank's got it's got Comstar rod.
Okay, well there you go. You make 1600 with it. Don't let them fool you.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a 1600 horsepower rod. So we got piston rod. We already got a crank. Our crank is also, just look at this real quick.
Badass.
It's engraved. Has Nasty Racing TKM. These are our mountain motors.
Oh boy!
Right. That's pretty cool. It's got the bob weight on it and everything. So shout out to TKM. They did all machine work. 58X on the crank. Comstar 4125 stroke. Just a solid upgrade. Nothing crazy. No billet center counterweight. Could you benefit from center counterweight?
It is a center counterweighted crankshaft though.
Oh my god, it is a center. When did they start doing that? Dude, I don't even know what I buy at this point.
That's a center counterweighted crankshaft.
When did the Comstar start coming center counterweighted?
A couple years ago.
That's really good.
That's a nice crankshaft.
Dude, that's really good.
There's nothing wrong with that crankshaft.
I can't talk shit on the Comstar no more.
No.
That's solid. I wonder if Mason got some bullshit. I wonder if me and Mason have identical motors.
Except mine's gonna make a little bit more power.
I got Mason a non-center counterweighted crank.
My crankshaft ain't gonna matter.
So
your crank's heavier than his crank?
Yeah. I'd much prefer to have a lighter crankshaft.
We have there's our rotating assembly. We got some bearings. TCAM supplied us with, I'm pretty sure, everything. I brought them the block. TCAM got us everything. Yep. We got a custom solid roller camshaft, which is large. We're not going to reveal the specs on it, but it is large. And then we have a set of mass black label heads. So let's let Scott talk about the heads. The heads are set up solid roller. Scott, what do we got to know about the heads? Because the heads are really like the bread and butter of this build, right?
So the biggest thing on the NA deal, any engine builder will tell you the same thing. All your horsepower is made right here in this cylinder head. The valvetrain package and all that, but air in, air out. So we're starting out with a really great cylinder head. The bottom of the motor, and even in an NA build, it's an air pump. That's all it is. It has to live at the horsepower level you want. It's designed to pump air. It's designed to stay in one piece. But you got to be able to get air in and out of this head. So as far as for a street car, and this car being kind of heavy, this is probably the biggest cylinder head you want to go. Because this motor, I'll be the first one to tell you, below about 4,500, this thing will be a pig. I can tell you that right now. But we all know on an NA deal, we're going to turn it to the moon, we're going to make a bunch of horsepower, and it's going to be a blast because the car's got a 5-speed in it. So, again, probably about as big as you want to go on a street head. And I know there's going to be guys chime in and go, oh, I know guys that run Big Chiefs on the street. So do I. But we're going to try to make this a usable, drivable, fun car.
It's going to have AC.
Yeah, it's going to have AC, it's going to have power steering, going to have all that stuff on
This isn't max effort. This is something where we want it to sound cool, drive around, put down a decent number on the dyno, and do burnouts. That's it. Am I going to put a slick on it and take it to the track and drive
Absolutely.
it? Oh, I hate that already. Because I suck at driving manual, dude. I really do.
So the camshaft is pretty large for a street car. We do have all, shaft mount, rocker arms and everything for it. None of this stuff is lightweight stuff by any stretch of the imagination as far as, none of this is just weak sauce street car stuff. No, it's just about as big as you want to go and still enjoy the car. There's tons of horsepower out there that we could probably make a little more with it, but it wouldn't be any fun anymore.
That's what they got nitrous for. We're going to spray 200 on this bitch.
Oh.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
We're going to gap the rings for sure. And I'm going to go out and throw this out there. Here, point down here.
Oh yeah, this is not recommended.
Not recommended, y'all.
We're learning something here.
Okay, I've done this before. People tell you can, people tell you can't. We're going to do some real world testing on it. It has roller cam bearings in it, right? These depend on splash oil. We're going to find out just how long they last on the street. I've been successful with them before. As long as the driver knows not to set it idle a lot. There's some other stuff you got to do. But yes, we're going to run these because, honestly, they came in the block. That's why we're going to run them that way.
This is also, other than the cylinder head, I kind of went out of budget on the cylinder head. But other than that, I was staying really budget.
Oh, yeah. Truth of the matter is, everything here is extremely budget. Like, you can find these blocks super reasonable, and there's nothing wrong with them. They have to bore them so big because they use that cubic inch and bore limit in that series. So it's bored to the biggest that they're allowed to use. It don't mean this block is bad. It's just that racing series can't run a bigger bore. They've got an exact number, and that's all the bigger you can run. The fact these are CGI blocks, oh boy. If we could put boost on it, which we still might. But anyway.
I did build one. Remember the 440-inch one?
Yeah.
I built, and I had it set up with a blower on it, and I sold that. That thing's made over 2,000 horsepower for a few years now. It's up in New York, and it's still living. And it's a badass.
Yeah.
It's a badass motor. Not saying that you can't do it, but if you're gonna run some of the stuff we're running boost, we're running 50, 60 pounds of boost on a small block.
I mean, you guys have all seen them where you have to cut the grooves to get in here. You run out of real estate right there. That's why you build bigger bore space blocks.
Let me ask you this. Are we going to put the 6th head stud in?
No.
Hell no.
Please no.
Hell no.
Please no.
There's something we haven't mentioned, and to me it's one of the most important parts of a build like this. There's 2 things.
What is it?
We've not mentioned what lifter we're running in this deal.
I don't have it yet because I'm a piece of shit. I didn't order it.
Well, you know what lifter we're running in.
We're in a BAM lifter.
We're running a BAM
We will be
lifter.
running BAM DLC lifters because I have had great experience with them in cars that we take on drag week. Hands down, probably the best lifter you can ever buy.
And what's your second opinion on the most important thing? Intake?
What intake manifold are you going to
I'm going to run a cheap split Holley 4500 manifold with a Scarlet Solutions intake or throttle bodies like a AccuFab style.
And I'm going to run the same thing.
And
all right, let me ask you this. Who's going to make more horsepower, mine or Mason's?
What cylinder head you going to run?
He's going to run some Bobo-ass 317 with a extra bolt hole welded onto it.
Probably a nice BR7.
Oh, bro.
A BR7 to this one would be...
They're almost identical.
Very comparable. It's almost the same head.
Except
he's going to...
I'm willing to change camshaft 3 or 4 times until I like it.
This guy's out of control.
Yeah, there is a set of heads here that would make the most horsepower.
those all pros that sit on the ground.
There's a cylinder head right here that might make 900.
They just happen to be sitting right here.
If you haven't noticed, we store in places.
Just so y'all know, if I can ever get these on that motor.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you guys haven't learned now after about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, I've had a severe spending problem in the past.
In the past.
And I'm really reeling it in right now. I'm reeling it in.
Now, the other side of that, if anybody has a set of those they want to get rid of that maybe are damaged or, whatever, let me know.
Even if they got a hole in them, we'll weld them up.
Yeah, find me on Facebook. I will buy them.
All pros.
Remember that set I had that I bought for like $1,000 because they had epoxy in them, and I sold them because I wanted to run methanol, and the methanol would eat away at the epoxy, and they were like that exact head, and I paid $1,000 for it, and I literally gave them away.
Damn, dude.
Gave them away. Dude. I knew you were gonna want them at one point.
Yeah,
so I got rid of them.
But stay tuned for this build. This is actually going to be a lot of fun. This is the stuff I like. We're going to know everything on this. We're going to set the quench the way it's supposed to be for the most horsepower and drivability, keep detonation down. And the biggest thing is we want to have some fun with it. My goal is to see how many transmissions we can break behind it.
We're going to break a few, that's for sure. So
one thing we didn't mention also. These motors are set up for dry sump. If there's no oil pump provision.
Yeah.
True fact. Yeah. So, this has to run an external oil pump. Good thing to point out.
I actually have so this is going in an F-body Camaro. I have ICT billet, spec'd me out, everything I need. So we're still going to have AC. We're still going to have power steering. Still runs a factory-style water pump. It's got an ATI balancer with a mandrel on the back of it. And I'm going to run an Aviate oil pump that's actually for the F-body setup. So it should be nice. I have the whole accessory drive here. I'm super excited about it. This should be something where we can put it all together, and then the motor's out of it, the car right now, yeah. Mm-hmm. Put it right in. We're going to put the car on a Holley Terminator. We're going to run it on E85, which I really hate doing just the straight E85 stuff, but I think this application, it probably justifies it more so than my 450 horsepower Cobra that runs on straight E85. That's just an absolute unit. But no, this thing should be good. It'd be a cruiser. Definitely not a daily driver, but something you could take out, have some fun. Real quick, solid roller running the valves on the street. What's your take on that?
With the BAM lifters and
Which
ones? At least T&Ds are putting this one.
Jessel rocker arms, Manton push rods. If we haven't ordered the push rods yet, but we always run Manton push rods. Had always had great luck with them, and dealing with them is absolutely awesome.
with all that quality stuff, and as good as the valvetrain setup is in it, I can tell you personally, I have a 23-degree motor that I drive everywhere. It's got a solid roller in it. I check the valves on it about every 500-600 miles. Notice I didn't say I adjust them. I check them, right? They're fine. So more than likely, all you guys out there who are like, oh, it's a solid roller, you can't drive it. Yes, you can. Like, I put lots of miles on mine. It's a 700 lift camshaft in a 23-degree small block using a BAM DLC bush lifter. I've had 0 problems, and I got a little over 13,000, 14,000 miles on it.
Well, I'm excited about it. This thing should be fun.
One more question.
Go ahead.
Are you going to run just an external oil pump with a wet sump? Or are you going to run a dry sump?
I run everything external wet. For me, it's just simpler because I don't have to put a tank in there. I mean, you got to think, if our 4,000 horsepower Hemi goes external wet, I'm sure that my street car will do fine doing external wet sump. I'm not road racing the car or anything like that. I have a Aviade pump. I have a Williams Fab custom fabricated aluminum billet rail oil pan that is very similar to what I run in some of the race cars. Like Hank has a very identical pan. They work really good. You can pick what side you want your scavenge on. This one's just a single stage. Are we going to run a vacuum pump? Do you recommend a vacuum pump? I've never run a vacuum pump because I'm boosted.
If there is a way at all to get a vacuum pump on this, absolutely. Because that's worth, on this motor, probably worth 30, 40 horsepower.
Awesome. My goal, I don't know, realistic goal for wheel horsepower on the dyno, anything over 700 wheel, I'll be happy with. That's my goal. If you drive cars on the street that are boosted, or any high performance car, you'll know 700 horsepower is really that like happy place where anything over 700, it could just be a handful. You start knocking the tires off, and if you're not really aware, someone else hops in it, it can be dangerous. So I think, me personally, that 700 horsepower number is great. If it makes more than that, that's awesome. But really just want something that sounds rowdy, that if we take it out to lunch, people are like, what motor's in that thing? And I'll be like, got a Corvette motor. Because that's what I say every time.
I think the real goal horsepower-wise is to have a graph that looks like this rather than like this.
Yeah, we're used to the turbo stuff where you need some boost. But don't get me wrong, I love the turbo stuff. Never done anything like this, but I'm excited about it, and I think it'll be fitting in that car.
It'll be fun. This will be, you don't have to worry about, it'll be way easier to plumb, way easier to build the car. And again, you have a ton of stuff that goes 200 miles an hour. Getting something just to drive around, this is going to be a blast. And you talk about sounding gnarly. All you guys from the early 2000s that loved the Corvettes that sound like they were barely running, well, when it's idling at like 1600 and it's still going to sound rowdy, that's it. Yes, it's going to sound rowdy.
I'm excited about it. All right, guys, we'll throw some footage here. Scott's going to get to work. We're going to leave him in his dungeon. No windows.
No windows, no fan, no...
We're going to lock the door and say, Scott, you don't come out until it's done. But we're very excited. Big shout out to TCAM Performance. They source all the parts of all the machine work. Big shout out to Scott. Scott builds all of our motors here. What number motor do you think this is? Now, mind you, how many times have we been through the Pro Mod motor? So we're creeping up on triple digits.
On last year, we had done 27 motors. Like, those were just the LS stuff.
Yeah. So...
I don't have any idea this year.
We're probably double that with how many times we've rebuilt motors and gone through and done freshen up. So
I've done 3 big block Chevrolets in the past week and a half.
Yeah, so Scott stays busy. Big shout out to Scott, PIG Motorsports, always making sure our engines are running right. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. If you guys are building something similar, comment down below what you guys are building. We'll be happy to.
And we'll let you know how these live.
I'm dying to do some shit with that. Scott knows. Scott's like, leave it alone. It'll be fine. I'm like, nah, I'm plumbing oil to it.
Nah, we'll see what happens.
I don't know.
There's only one way to find out.
Try it.
And we're going to try it.
Yep.
I've been successful with it before.
Scott says it'll be fine. That most likely means it'll be fine.
Which means Mason's not going to listen to him.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to listen.
Scott says Mason's going to try it the other way and then be like, hey, damn, Scott, I think you're right.
Hey, but when I'm wrong, what do?
Hey, I don't hate on nobody, man.
I come tell him. It hurts. Just know that.
Do I run? I have to order a head gasket.
We got to figure that out.
It's like a Ford.
We're going to run the quench super tight on this thing.
All right. Well, we'll let Scott get to big.
John's trying to figure out what that means. He's going to his office right now to Google quench to figure out what that is.
Wow.
That's
you know what? I don't have to Google a fat ass because I'm looking at one.
Oh, what? Is there a mirror on the other side of this camera?
Done.